absolutely do not care. For me, I am for unity of black people around the world because I strongly believe that together we are stronger.
Hi lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, you're welcome to Building the Verse. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload a video, you will be the first person to be notified. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate each and every one of us, you guys are the real MVP. Alright lovelies, let's dive into today's video.
You are committed on denying the fact that you indeed have African ancestry, my content is not for you. My content is for Pan-African niggas who actually want to push forward liberation, who actually want to push forward love, and who actually want to see the growth and the development of our people from a place of empowerment, knowledge, spirituality, right, culture. All that other shit is not for you. Also, I'm not for any kind of nigga, any kind of African that does not embrace Pan-Africanism. Because just because you of African descent don't mean that you Pan-African. I'm not speaking to you niggas either.
I absolutely do not care. For me, I am for unity of black people around the world because I strongly believe that together we are stronger. If you do not feel the same, which is totally okay, it's your own choice, your life, your choice, please do not stop on my page. I do not even want to go back and forth with someone saying, oh, I don't think I'm African. Oh, I think that you're African. I do not get to that level of discussion. Whoever you think you are, if you believe that black people coming together from every part of the world is going to create some magic in the world, then you are welcome to my page because I strongly believe that we can actually work together, help each other achieve so much more in this world. I absolutely do not care.
Americans, we are indigenous. Kinika, Kinika. Oh, Africans are tethers. Africans are savages. Oh, I'm Nuer. I'm Anuak. I'm Dinkan. Actually, I'm the real Bantu. Oh, Malinkes versus Soninkes versus Kinika and Kinika. Oh, North Africans are Arab colonizers and Kinika and Kinika. Oh, everybody should rest. Answer is revolutionary Pan-Africanism. Once we all now understand that we're all Africans and our destinies are tied together, and that no one is getting free. The people in Mississippi are not getting free without the Congolese. The Congolese are not getting free without the Sahrawis. The Sahrawis are not getting free until black South Africans get a hold of their resources from those Dutch settlers. Those black South Africans are not getting their land back and their resources and everything back until Somalia is no longer under attack by expansionist Ethiopians. Those was anyways. You get my point. You get my point, right? And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be proud of your ethnicity, you shouldn't be proud of your culture. Yes, that's fine. But we have to understand ourselves as Africans of the global majority. Our struggle is one. Our oppressors are one. The British, the French, the Israelis, the Belgians, they all understand that they're working towards one cause, the extraction of our resources and the domination and subjugation of African people everywhere. So we too should have the mental fortitude and the common sense and the stamina and the gumption to now come together in order to struggle for the African revolution. Enough. Diaspora war. Our oppressors are somebody laughing. We got them again. Some people are even doing their work for free on this app. Don't mind them. One Africa, one struggle. Huh? Thank you.
It's wild how African Americans are upset at me for calling out the hater ass energy they have towards Africans. You got people questioning my ethnicity in the comments, asking me where my family is from, asking me where I was born, automatically assuming that I'm either Caribbean or African. Like, no, I'm from the east side of Long Beach. I'm literally as Black American as a Black American can get. And I just find it funny and ironic how me advocating for Black people around the world all of a sudden means that I'm anti-Black American. Like, why are you trying to gatekeep skin color? Y'all will do whatever you can to try to debunk someone's blackness in order to invalidate their experience as a Black person living and traveling in America, and to silence their voice when they're pointing out the degenerate behaviors that exist in the Black community. I'm the type of person that advocates for everybody. Now, all of a sudden, all the times that I stood up for African Americans mean nothing because I said, hey, stop hating on Tyler and we need to start respecting African people. Now, all of a sudden, I can't claim to be a Black American. What y'all don't realize is that people like me are always going to call out mistreatment and unfair behavior, even if it's coming from our own people, even if it's coming from the same group of people that we once stood up for. Because African people have been nothing but nice and welcoming towards us. So where is all this energy coming from, which African Americans have been very, very blatant and open about their disdain towards African people? Makes no sense. The way that y'all attacked me in these comments and advocating for African people, and calling out African Americans and their hater ass energy that they have for African people is very telling to the type of people y'all really are. It's weird as fuck. And it really does expose the amount of self-hatred and bigotry that exists in the Black community in America. Telling African people that they have no right to call out the degenerate behaviors and the things that they see wrong with the Black community in America because they simply aren't born in America is one of the most intellectually dishonest things, is one of the most ignorant things that has ever came out of the Black community since the foundation of this country. The fact that you guys will put more emphasis on the pain and struggles that divide Africans and African American people rather than emphasizing the skin color that brings us all together. Can't make this up. This is deeper than just that. This is a spiritual war. The enemy uses division in the Black community to further block our collective progress. Can we as Black people around the world make any type of progress if Black people in America are fighting and envious and jealous of African people on the other side of the continent? The fact that African Americans cannot see how they're playing into the overall hand of the enemy by doing this and reinforcing these narratives is beyond me, because we should be the ones to recognize oppression and systematic racism faster than any other Black person here on earth. If Satan and the enemy can continue to keep us fighting, hating each other, questioning each other, we will never move in the unity that God designed for us as Black people here on earth, no matter what country or culture we come from. Because the Bible and God clearly states we are all one in Jesus Christ. Because division is man-made and God designed unity. Don't fall for the trap, y'all.
If you have a trace of Black in your DNA, I respectfully ask you to please watch this video and watch it all the way to the end. But if you are not Black, I respectfully ask you to scroll, because this is a family meeting. This video is coming from a very sad place, but it's coming from a place of love. As a reminder, we didn't lose land when they colonized us. We lost each other. Now we carry flags instead of family, borders instead of brotherhood, tribe instead of truth. And while we scream Africa unite, we stab each other with dialects, clans, and skin tone. We didn't need the slave ships to separate us. We are doing it fine, even better than the slave masters. And to my brothers and sisters, the Black Americans, some of you say I ain't African. You say it with your full chest. And that's because your history was wiped clean and replaced with shame. But let me ask you something. If you're not African, what are you? You're not white, you're not brown, you're not Asian, you're not native. Where do you belong? You wear kente on your graduation day, but you deny the blood that made you. You vibe to Afrobeats, but would never claim your African roots. You scream Wakanda forever, but turn your back on Ghana, Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso, Namibia, Kenya, South Africa, and the rest of the African continent. They told you Africa is poor, dirty, and uncivilized, so you wear Gucci, forgetting that the gold was stolen from your ancestors. You straighten your hair, but your DNA cuts back to the motherland. And you who still agree that you're black, you've been to 5 countries, but you've never stepped a foot on your motherland, the land that named you. In case you didn't know, I'll tell you, we are all scattered bones from the same skeleton, but the head despises the feet, the hand won't speak to the mouth, and the spine refuses to stand upright because it doesn't want to elevate the head. Meanwhile, back in Africa, we're killing each other over tribe. We're hiring only from our own region. We're marrying only our ethnic kind. We're voting not for competence, but for cousin, for tribe, for religion. We're the only race whose diversity became a weapon not fashioned against our oppressors, but against ourselves. We're the only people who can't unite because we are so busy trying to out-purify each other. You're Igbo, you're Yoruba, you're Akan, you're Zulu, you're Ewe, you're Fulani, you're Tutsi, you're Ashanti. But guess what? To the rest of the world, we're black. Like it or not. When a police officer shoots you, he doesn't ask for your tribal card. When the visa officer denies you, he doesn't care where your ancestors come from. So why do we keep dividing the land that our ancestors bled to preserve and protect? Let me be clear. Your tribe is your heritage, but not your identity. Africa is your identity. Blackness is your banner. We didn't ask to be scattered, but we must choose to be reunited. We must build a future where a black boy in Detroit sees a brother in Durban. A sister in Nairobi cries when a black girl dies in Louisiana. A man in Accra feels in his bones when a brother in Brazil can't breathe. Because our pain is global, our healing must be as well. We use the chainsaw, but the only thing we keep cutting is ourselves, not the chains that holds us down. So this is a call, not to war, but to wisdom. To stop asking where you're from and start asking, where are we going? To stop fighting over tribes and start building a tribe of tribes. To stop denying the blood that raised you and start embracing it with every breath. Because if we don't unite, we'll stay divided and continue to be prey to our predator. But together we are a force the world has never seen before. And no tribe, no border, no oppressor, no flag can stop what's rising in the soul of a black man, a black woman, that black girl, and that black boy. Africa is not divided. She's just waking up. And when her children return, mind, soul, and strength, the world will finally remember who we truly are. Thank you very much for coming this far. Please do us a favor, do it, share, and forward this video to every single black person on your contact. This is Altitude Within.
Let's get straight to it. Every time the subject of Pan-Africanism, unity, and our shared ancestry comes up, the same pattern repeats. You see a section of African Americans immediately go into denial, into anger, into hostility. They will say, I am not Africa. Don't call me Africa. I am Black American. Foundational indigenous. The defensiveness is so sharp, it exposes the wound beneath it. A wound of identity that has never been allowed to heal. The problem is not that African Americans don't know they came from Africa. The problem is that to embrace Africa feels like surrendering to a narrative that white supremacy trained them to despise. For centuries, Africans in America were stripped of names, languages, histories, and told that Africa was nothing but a jungle of savage. Nollywood movies reinforced it, school textbooks reinforced it, even church sermons reinforced it. That is why, when Pan-Africanism is spoken about today, some African Americans don't hear unity, they hear an insult. They hear a reminder of something that was stolen. But here's what is wild. The same people who will scream I'm not Africa will also turn around and gatekeep blackness itself. The moment someone, whether Caribbean, Africa, or even Black American, calls out toxic behavior, suddenly their blackness is questioned. Where are you from? Where were you born? You don't get to speak on us is a strange contradiction, denying Africa while also policing who gets to call themselves black. This hostility is not equal on both sides. Africans, for the most part, do not carry the same deep-rooted hatred. Yes, there are Africans who stereotype black Americans. Yes, there are Africans who come to the US with arrogance, looking down on African Americans. But let me be honest, the level of venom, the outright disdain, we don't want nothing to do with Africans' energy. It flows heavier from African Americans, and it comes out most when unity is on the table. That tells something. That tells us something. It tells us this isn't just about culture. It's not just about food, language, or history. This is about identity under attack. Let's break it down historically. Marcus Garvey in the 1920s was calling for Pan-Africanism, for a back to African movement. He was ridiculed, sabotaged, and deported. Malcolm X, before he was killed, has shifted towards Pan-African internationalism, building bridges with leaders across Africa. Martin Luther King Jr., in his last years, began connecting the struggles in America to struggles of colonized people abroad. All of them were pushing for a global black consciousness. All of them were silenced. Why? Because white supremacy fears black unity more than anything else. And that fear still drives division today. Social media has become the new battlefield. We have movements like FBA, Foundational Black Americans, who openly attack Africans and Caribbean, pushing narrative that Africans sold them into slavery, that Africans owe them repatriation, that Africans come here and take jobs and opportunities. On the other side, you have Africans clapping back, mocking African American struggles, saying at least we still have land, at least we still have culture. Both sides fall into the trap of fighting each other instead of fighting the system. But who benefits when Africans and African Americans are at each other's throats? Not us, not the Diaspora. The people who benefit are the same corporation exploiting African resources, the same government over-policing African American neighborhoods, the same system that thrives when black people globally cannot unite. Division is profitable. Now let's get psychological. Why does Pan-Africanism trigger such anger? Because it threatens to collapse a fragile identity. African Americans, by force of history, had to build an identity out of trauma. Stripped from languages, stripped from tribes, they built culture from survival, jazz, blues, hip-hop, culture, traditions, soul food, resistance. That identity is powerful, but it's incomplete. It flows without anchor. So when someone says you are Africa, instead of hearing you are connected, many hear you are incomplete. It feels like someone is robbing them of the only thing they built for themselves. On the flip side, Africans have their own blind spots. Many Africans look at African Americans and don't understand the depth of generational trauma. They don't understand how slavery and Jim Crow foundational rewired black existence in America. So they sometimes approach with arrogance instead of empathy. That fuels resentment too. But here is the core. The rejection of Africa is self-rejection. How can you be black without Africa? Africa is not just a continent, it is the womb of humanity, the root of blackness. The denial is to participate in the very white supremacy that told you Africa was nothing. And when African Americans attack Africans online, mocking accent, mocking culture, saying we are not the same, they don't realize they are echoing the very colonizer's voice. Let me put it another way. Imagine a family scattered across the world. Some stayed home, some were kidnapped, some were forced into exile. Centuries later, they argue about who is really family. That is what we are doing, fighting over which branch of the family tree is legitimate when the tree itself is Africa. And here is the spiritual side. Division is not just social, it's a spiritual warfare. The enemy, whether you call it Satan, systemic evil, or global white supremacy, strives when we hate each other. Every time an African American and African mock each other online, hell rejoices, because unity is the one thing that won't terrify the system. Imagine if black Americans, with their cultural dominance and political influence, united with Africans with their land, resource, and numbers. Imagine if Afro-Brazilians, Afro-Caribbeans, Afro-Europeans join that alliance. That is unstoppable. That is liberation. That is why division is constantly stoked. We also need to talk about jealousy. Many African Americans feel envy seeing Africans who still have ancestral names, languages, and traditions. That envy comes out as mockery. Your names are weird, your food smells, your clothes look funny. It's not really about the names or the food, it's about wishing they still had theirs. Meanwhile, some Africans envy African Americans for their global influence, music, sports, culture, power. That envy comes out as arrogancy too. So both sides mirror each other's wound. But here is the brutal truth. As long as we fight, we lose. Every second we spend arguing about who is African and who is not, billion-dollar corporations continue to drain Africa's resources. Prisons continue to fill with black bodies in America. Police continue to kill. Colonial system continue to control economies and racism continues to thrive. Look at it this way. When an African American says, "Don't call me Africa," what they are really saying is, "I don't want to be associated with something I have thought is shameful." That is self-hate. And when African says, "At least we are not like African Americans," what they are really saying is, "I don't want to be associated with your pen." That is too is self-hate. Both are symptoms of colonial damage. So what do we do? First, we need honesty. Africans need to acknowledge that yes, some of their ancestors participated in the slave trade, but that does not mean Africa is guilty of slavery. That does not mean every Africa is to blame. White supremacy was the aesthetics. Europeans built the system. Africans were manipulated, coherent, and sometimes complete. But the transatlantic system was European driven. That historical clarity matters. Second, African Americans need to acknowledge that Pan-Africanism does not erase their unique identity. Nobody is saying you are not unique. Nobody is saying your history doesn't matter. What we are saying is your uniqueness is one branch of a larger family tree. You are Africa, shaped by American soil. That is not an insult, it's truth. Third, both sides need humanity. Africans should listen to the pain of African Americans without dismissing it. African Americans should listen to Africans without mocking them. Both sides should realize we have bigger enemies than each other. And lastly, we need to understand the spiritual assignment. The enemy fears black unity. The Bible says we are all in one Christ. The ancestors understood we are all in one spirit. Division is man-made, unity is divine. Every time we choose unity over hate, we break a chain. So let's be real, the hospitality between Africans and African Americans is not natural. It's programmed, it's learned, it's a colonial echo, and the sooner we recognize it, the sooner we can kill it. Because the truth is simple, we either unite or we stay conquered. Africa without the diaspora is vulnerable. The diaspora without Africa is ruthless. Together we are unstoppable. Apart we are nothing but hashtags and arguments. And that is the truth no one wants to face.
And if you have watched up to this extent, thank you so much for all the love and support. Don't forget to please leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. Alright, lovely. See you when I upload the next video.